Hi, welcome. My name is Natalia, and I have to say thanks to Grace that she took me in this beautiful video, and I love this idea. And so I think this video was made for Kelly Bear from in the beginning, and I have to say thanks to her too because I really like the idea of this video, and I'm really thankful for being tagged in it. So I wanted to say that I didn't know the way these five tarot decks were important to someone or how you had to choose them. So I thought a good idea was going to be tell my story to tarot decks. That is the way I think because I'm not using too much different tarot decks. I'm only using four, maybe three. I thought it was a good idea not only talk about the tarot decks I have, more about the how tarot decks change my perception maybe about tarot. So I want to start for my story of tarot decks, and this is little box is an Argentine box, and it's a copy. I mean, yeah, a copy of a very classic Marsella deck, and I really like this tarot deck. It's very colorful. This is my first tarot deck. I started doing readings with classic Spanish cards, but this was the first tarot deck I have, and I had it because a friend of mine had one the same, and he he was part of my story with tarot, and it's great because the other day I did a read to him. It felt like a very big cycle because I was like more of 20 years he did the first tarot read for me to me, sorry. um it was very interesting the way life can do that kind of thing. So this is a very colorful deck, and this is my beginning. My approach to tarot is going to be always in the beginning for a Marsella style, and the reason is because in my country this is the best. This is the more easy tarot that you can find in stores and different places. It's not so easy to find a rider now. These last 2 3 years, maybe more, because it's more in a trend. The tarot decks are more in trendy moment now, so you can actually find one more. But for 20 years, this was the only deck you can find in my town. And I really love it. And this is a very colorful style. It's not a deck I used today. It was a deck that I used it to style when I was a teenager, and I love it. And it was great for me. And it made me see the world and symbols in a different approach. It was a deck that actually made me feel more connected with stories and with the myths of and archetypes. It was my beginning with archetypes. So this is the deck, and this is a deck I rarely use today. I'm not to other people with it. Sometimes I use it for myself, but it's not the most common thing. So yeah. And about the continued deck, this is a deck that I know is very difficult to find. This is the first impression. I think you can find a new version now. This is my first deck with it's not a pip, and it's the second deck I bought. I mean, I had this deck for more of 20 years, and this one I think I have it for more than 15 years, and yeah, 17 years I think. And when I bought it, it was just a casualty because I bought to a store that is in my city that is actually they sell watches and gifts, and it's a gift shop. You can find the things that you want to give to your father in that kind of places. So I wasn't. I think I entered to it to buy a clock or something like that, and this was a surprise, and it was very cheap. I think is the deck more cheap I bought in all my decks. And I know that it's a very expensive deck now, and I use it, so the golden is not in the best quality, and I know that. I don't care because this deck has a story. I had the lucky to see the original paintings of Dalı that Dalı did to this deck. And if you follow me for a while and you saw the videos I did before, I actually did a video of this deck. I think even if you don't because this is not the rider system, this is a very different system, and even some of the astrological associations are different because it's a more French thought about this system, because Dali was more connected with that kind of Kabbalist approach that actually was with sorry with the other systems, so the golden system. So I'm sorry, I talk all the day today and in Spanish, so sorry. And even when you cannot like, I want to show you one card because it's my favorite. That card, this deck to read. I think that is a very beautiful deck to concept with the art of Dali. And this, oh, I love her. She's so beautiful. And you have the magician in his card. This is a Spanish version. I don't know, you can find one with the English words, but okay, that is weird. I don't use this deck too much. I saw the cards in the original size. They are very beautiful. I didn't saw all them, but I saw like 20 of them in a gallery art that is close to my city, and I was very impressed of how beautiful this one is. They are, and I think this is a very interesting way to connect with how someone can be connected for the symbols in cards in a different light. I know that you can consider that you don't need to have too many decks, and I am that kind of person. But sometimes I understand that when you have the symbol and the approach and the way you can connect with this symbol, it's very interesting. Like good artist, if you can say good, can actually connect or make their own interpretation of the card. That doesn't mean that you need to have it. Sometimes just you need to see it. I don't think you need to actually buy more decks. I think you can see them, and you don't need to wanted to buy them. I think it's more connection with a different artist concept. But I love this deck. because it was a deck I actually used it more when I was in my 20s, and I think it's the deck I use it more to read to other people in that time. And it makes me feel different to this. It was a different connection. It's not like it's more expensive or I think this is a golden style. It's a big style of cards. I love this cardstock more. This is so easy, so great. This deck had more than 20 years and it looks like perfect today. So yeah, but it makes me feel different about tarot, more open to it in a different way. So that is the reason because I like it so much, and because it was just maybe that kind of technique was for me. So this is the Italian version of this deck. I have other versions, but this is my favorite. This was the first tarot deck I bought about the Thoth, and I bought it in Italian because I didn't want to the words in Spanish. Especially because I didn't want to read to other people and find this. Imagine that, especially this one or some card of this kind of style, and you are doing a reading to someone else, and this is the first card that you take. No, that is was a problem to me. I love that the word is there, and I know Italian not to talk, but I can read it like I can read some language too. And I really, really love this version. And I want to say something. If this deck changed my mind about tarot, this was, I don't know, like all my world was completely destroyed, changed forever after buying this deck. I mean, if you work with Thoth, you know it. Why some people really love this deck too much. And I know I don't need to explain. If you never buy it, or if you never like it, or if you think this deck is not for you, I was the same person before to buy this deck. And then I bought it. And now I have it. And now I think this is the best deck you can ever have. And I always going to think that way. I really believe this. If you want to know about astrology, or you know something about astrology, if you want to know about Qabalistic approach or Hebrew letters, or even if you don't want to know about anything about this can be a very beautiful deck to really start. I think if I have to choose again, I will start for Marsella for this one. I think a very different approach. I understand why people start for the Rider because it can actually help with the minors, but I think the approach that these two decks had with the Major Arcana is amazing, and I love the minors because every card, every one of these cards has a connection with the Tree of Life, and you can see it more easily in this deck that you can always going to see it in a Rider system. So yeah, this is one of my favorite decks, and I love it, and I always going to love it. And I think my approach to tarot was completely changed after this deck. So now this one. This is the deck everybody was saying to me, don't buy it, it's too classical. It's not going to work. Buy this one, this one, this one. And I like the little things and I like colorful things. I know how my life works. So I don't know if that is really the approach. I don't have the big version. I was trying to figure out before that book depository closed. Now I can't. If I wanted or no the big version, and when you love something too much, I wasn't sure, and I still not, because I feel afraid that I wasn't going to like that deck too much, even in comparison with this one. I love the teeny because I love teens. I love the size. I not love the cardstock because I don't like cardstock that are very too thick. But the colors and the clothes of the faces, it makes me feel that even when the cards are little, because they feel more close, I feel more connected with it. I feel like I'm part of the story. And I normally doesn't feel that way for myself in other decks. Now here, like, I'm participating of the story too. Like, not only especially look at this card. It's like I feel like he's looking directed to me. And I really connect with this deck more because of it. And I love the blue ones and the yellow ones in this deck. The colors, the approach, the vintage artist style. So I love to have this deck with me, read to other people. I don't use this deck to read to myself. I use this one especially when I want to know something in a very practical way. I'm going to use this one. It's not the deck I'm going to use normally to read every day for me, but sometimes I'm going to do it with this one. But if I want to read to a friend, to a family member, this is the deck. Yes, I think I'm using this deck lately, and it's a very easy deck to me to read, to the symbols, to tell a story. Like I always say, I think Rider system is more easy to tell a story, to connect with the cards, to make something different with the way. This is a very more different approach to tarot. That is going to be this one. Because this one is more an abstract concept. You know the meanings, you know the numbers, you connect with it in a different light. And you can find I use more that is with this system I use more the soprafino, and you can see visually something. And it's not like you don't have colors, you don't have ways to tell a story. But I cannot really understand when you are a beginner, this is a more easy approach to do it, to do something that is continuing time. Because here sometimes you can have one card and you have the meaning of the card, you connect, but it's difficult for some people to connect in a very, sorry, but imagine that you have, I don't know, these two cards and you want to have one more in a visual way. Maybe if you know the meanings of the card you can do it, but in a visual way you have a story too. But sometimes for people it's more easy to go to a rider system to connect with cards. No, with connect the three cards to her. It's more easy with this system for some people. I cannot say the same, but because I am a very visual person, I can really understand why if someone needs. I think it's more the way you create the story. If you are only using words, it's more easy that you are going to use this. If you are going to use all this way, you are going to use words and colors and symbols to read, to connect, to create a story, it's more easy that you are going to use this one. You are going to find more things in this one. But I think the seasons are very different, and I understand why some people can be more easy or more difficult to find others. I mean, I'm not saying this deck is more easy. I'm saying that the approach is different. I really believe that they have different way, but I understand sometimes why people is more close to, more open to use this deck, especially to read to other people, because you have a different kind of time when you are going to, if you have time to think and process the meaning of the cards with more impactful way or more thoughtful way, this can be a very good system. But if you have to know more fast what the card is trying to tell you, this is a system that it works very well for that. And I'm not saying with that this, because of that, this system is less important or is not better. Actually, that is one of the reasons, because I think sometimes can be better for some people. It's not a value thing, it's just different. And the last one deck I'm going to show you is the deck I'm more using right now. It's a Tarot of Spirit. If you love this deck or you want to approach this deck different, follow the Pamela Jenkins YouTube channel. She is the daughter of Joyce, and she's doing card for card videos and explaining the systems of this tarot. And this is a Qabalistic tarot. I don't have it here, but it has a transparent card because it's a holographic system with a real life. And I have to say, if I want to choose a deck that I would always love to use in the mornings or on the night to just take one card, this is going to be the deck, especially when I had a bad day, because it's a very kind deck. Even when you have, it's a very colorful, beautiful deck, and you can find very deep meanings in these cards. But what I love of this deck sometimes and is the words. All the cards had words like the Thoth had, but the words are different sometimes. The meanings can be very related, very similar, but not exactly the same. And yes, they change a little the names, and especially in some kind of cards, but I think this deck is so well done and so beautiful, and I love the colors. I know this deck is just so great for me, and I really think this is a very kind deck. It's not what I'm saying with this is not that it's not going to sugar it so much. The things, it's going to tell you what you need to know, but I think it's not going to be so cruel like other tarot decks can be. And I like that. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to help you to really see yourself in this. I love this deck to read to myself, and it's the deck I'm using to read to myself lately. Yeah, this is my morning or tarot decks deck. So these are the 5 decks, and I'm going to continue to explain to you why I'm now going to show you the first 2 books. One of my favorite books of tarot is the Qabalistic Tarot, and I'm going to show you a picture, I think, because it's great tarot book for people that is just one system maybe, and they want to know another systems, because it's a very he took all the classic systems and compared with each other in every card. And if you want to connect me more with this one, if you are a Marsella person and you want to know these systems, or you want to connect more with the Rider systems in a way, or these two, or maybe, I don't know, these two, it's going to really help you to really understand how you can compare the two systems and why the Golden Dawn did with every card what it did. I think it was more for myself that to really like it, the Thoth system. It was the best book to read for me about it. I read other books about Thoth, and even I read the Crowley. I like the Crowley book. I didn't like it other books of this deck, but I really liked that one. And if you are interested in Marsella, my second book is going to be the Paul Marteau. I really love that. If you want to know about symbols, colors, and just a very classic approach to the cards, especially if you don't know nothing about the humor and the part that is more easygoing of the cards. It's a very easy book, a very short book, but actually I think it works pretty well. And I'm going to show you 2 more. I have one more, but no. I'm going to show you the Enchantment Tarot. I think this deck is beautiful. I don't use this deck to read because obviously it's too big, but I think this is a great tarot book to read if you want to use decks for magic, because this section here have a very beautiful way to say to you how you can approach to tarot in a different light, in more in a magical light. It's very great to read and to find the concepts of the meaning of the cards, but honestly the part I really like more is the Enchantment, and I think it's great. And that one is the 3rd one, and I'm going to show you the 4th one, that is this one. I have the Spanish version because I like it more the cardstock, because I know that this English version is a Lewin version and it's good, but I think the cards are more small and the cardstock is not so great. But I really recommend this book, especially if you are into this, because this is not a rider system. You have so many deep meaning and meet connection with vampires. But if you don't like vampires, I really recommend the book anyway, because I think this is the best book about tarot that I had in my house. And the reason is because it has a very beautiful connection with the cards in a Qabalistic way, in a practical way, and in the story that is telling to you about the cards, the symbols, the way you can interpret the card, and the way you can work. They have the shadow part, I don't really sometimes agree with the concept of the shadow in the way that is approached in tarot. But I think it is more about the reverse meaning in this sense, and I don't know if the words that is in the English version is shadow 2, is the sombra here. So I think if you like to read reverse, this can help you. I don't associate shadow with reverse cards always, but sometimes I do, sometimes not. It's not my easy association, but I can really understand. That is my last book, and I think this video is going to be too long. About the spreads. Okay, I don't use too much spreads. And my everyday spread is just one card, and it's going to be something classic, like what I can do to improve my day, how I can do my day looks or feels better, how I can approach this set, what I need to know about this day, what I can learn from this day. And because it's night, I'm going to say something like that. So if I do it, I will just choose a card and okay, 7 of Hearts. And you can have the meaning. I love this concept of the card, like it's a garden that is going to grow up, it's going to you are planting the seed and you have to wait, and you have so many meanings and so many concepts of this story. Like, okay, this is one step, you have to take more, it's going to take more time, but it's going to be there, and it's just something is going to be beautiful. And that is one approach. You can find so many approaches about this card. It's one of my favorite cards because of it, because it's make you always feel hope in a way. Not all people is going to interpret the card in a way, but I think that is just this deck. That is the way this deck always made me feel. I like it for that, but that is one reading. Oh, another reading is going to be more a storytelling approach, is the third ones. When I was a teenager, I used the cell cross, but I didn't do that. Being for a very very long, I didn't. No, I mean, sometimes if I read to other people, I'm going to do the astrological wheel or maybe something more um, three cards, or maybe if I want to know more, maybe going to use a different version of the cross. Or the most classic for me is an element spread, but it's going to be anyway the cross itself, because if you are going to use, if you are using the Celtic cross, you can find that here you have the same part. You can associate what any element to this, and you can find the fifth one being the person, being the spirit, being a different kind of connection. That is very very classic, and you can use it in all the senses. So that one, but I normally use the three cards, and okay, and I don't I didn't saw anything so about this spread, but I don't use this like in only one sense. I can just connect with the tree. I sometimes one card is more approach to me that other ones, so and always call me more, or I think it's more important to this story. Sometimes when the mayor is there, I think I'm going to consider some things. I think it's very interesting about this interesting reading here, but I don't think it's a very classic spread, and sometimes with these three I'm going to talk, if I read to someone that it actually needs, I'm going to find one advice card. But honestly, I don't believe that it actually works. I am the person, I think that when you are doing a spread, you need less cards and more. I like the idea of, if you are going to do a big spread, I think it's more easy when you have one card approach. I mean, when every card has a concept, a meaning, especially purpose there. If you are going to do a very big spread, it's possible that you are going to lose the story in one place, in one moment, because there are too many. Yeah. One spread I'm going to do, I use normally this deck, sorry for doing that one, and I'm going to do it. I don't know how you are going to see this, because I don't normally follow the astrological wheel. I do it like I wanted, but yes. So I'm going to take the 12 astrological connections with the zodiacal signs in the cards, and I love doing this, sorry, with this deck, because you can see the astrological connections very easy. I think I have problems here, but okay. And normally I do it in a different, I use it, yeah, I don't know what I put the cards there this way, but I don't care. So, because it doesn't matter to do this. And I'm going to connect with, I'm going to search for the planets in the day. I'm going to use the planets and connect the planets with the cards in the position. And especially if I want to read for how is the energy of the day, how is going to, the energy is going to change for the next week or month, I'm going to use that one. Sometimes I want to know something about a personal approach. I can read. I did that kind of spread to read about the natal yeah, natal. I can find this English word. Yeah, if I want to know the story of the person, I can search for the birth charts and things like that. And that is not a spread I use to read to other people. It's more a spread I use for fun. Yeah. So that are my 3 spreads. In this part of the video, well, I didn't know what to say. I think the paraphernalia will be, to me, more a connection with tarot, more in a sense of I normally don't let people use my tarot decks. I normally let people sometimes cut the cards, but I don't like too much the idea of using the cards. And I normally, when I use a tarot, I'm going to, after that, or even before, I'm going to use this. And especially, I'm going to do it after, like a way to liberate the energy too. And this is like a call to me too, before to start reading. I'm going to do that kind of things. And I don't have too many things. Something I noticed, I was thinking about this, I tend to let sometimes a lavender flower with the in the boxes, in the decks. I tend to do that, but I'm going to use sometimes herbs, maybe lavender, maybe chamomile, or some kind herbs. I'm not going to use something like very hard or very aggressive. I'm going to use always herbs are very kind. And I don't have I use decks, some cards to do magic. I have cards in my altar right now. I like to use it in a way. Something I noticed that is I have tarot decks for all my house. Yes, it's like, and I have problems with it because when someone is coming to my house, their kids are trying to always using my cards, and it's a very big problem because I have to hide the cards before someone sometimes came to my house because they're going to this using the deck, and I don't really like it. And yes, but in my table is going to be always a dinner table is going always going to be a tarot deck. In my in my bedroom is for easy 2 or 3 tarot decks. They're going all the houses. It's like I tend to do that with coins too. So it's like I feel more I use it like a way to protect myself. And the thing is, it looks like I have 23 tutorial decks. I have some decks, yes, maybe have more than that once, but I in the house and open places are the decks I always use, the decks I always find. And something I do is I have one. I don't have it here, but I have one um, classic rider that is a deck that is a Loscarabeo deck. It's a very an old one, and I am destroying it. I'm using it to a therapeutical way. I'm going to find it. Sorry. So what I did with this is they had white board and destroying it. I changed the border that I painted, and I'm going to destroy every card. I think I'm saying destroy because I'm doing this. I actually changing the colors, painting them, and some. I know this deck is very old, but I really doing something with these cards that I don't know. When I get bored, I use this deck maybe to canalize something because this is the purpose. I use this deck to read to other people too, and I love it, and I read to myself in this one sometimes. But the truth is, look this the condition of this guy. I feel ashamed for it, but I use this in a way. So yeah, it's like, I painted all the back one here. And I know I'm going to continue doing this with this. And I love this bag. This is, I think, a Loscarabeo very cheap version that I could find. It's a classic rider. I have the Centennial. I don't like it. I don't like the cardstock. I love this cardstock. This was actually, I think, look at this. I changed all of the cards. I'm going to change all this, but it feels more, it's like I put my energy in it. I don't know. It's more mine. I think I like to feel that the decks are mine, and not only because I using them. I think sometimes I need to put something of myself in the decks I using all the time to feel that they are more close to me and more connected to me. And it's like, this is not whatever deck is, this is my deck, so it's going to be different because of the way I use it. Sometimes because I put something is mine in the boxes or with the cards, or change something of this deck in a way that is always going to be the way I did and not what other people did. So that is, I think, I don't know, I think I told too much about this. And from advice don't be too hard. Don't try to be the better tarot reader that you can find. Don't use tarot to feel like you have to do it better than anyone else. You have to have all the decks. You have to have things. This is more to know yourself. And even when you are reading for other people, don't be too judgmental with the other persons and to yourself, because sometimes you are not going to have the best reading, or people is going to want something from you that you can don't do to them. But that doesn't mean that you are doing a bad job or you are not a good tarot reader. And don't be hard and don't be too critical about yourself. This is something that is going always be about learning, and try to learn from people that is doing this for a very long time, maybe especially more than you, and the background is different to you. Don't, because if you're not, if you only hearing people that thinks the same way that you do, it's always going to be a comfort zone. It's great to hear people that actually thinks very different than you do, and maybe if you are feeling triggered for what the people is saying, maybe think what is sticking to you, but listen to people and trying to connect with them, trying to really understand what the approach is, and don't be so critical with yourself and with others, because the great thing about tarot is that is like I always say, is universal and is timeless, and is a way the symbols can really connect us in a great way. And I hope you enjoy this. Thanks so much for watching. And I'm watching some of the videos all the people did about this, and I didn't comment on anyone because I didn't have the time, but I'm going to start doing that. And I'm really thankful for the time that people take to watch these videos, to do videos, because I know that it can be very hard. Yes, I want to say something else. People is being so kind with me in this community, and I can't stop appreciation that. So I hope everything I say, sometimes I be very hard, and I'm not trying to be critical to someone, and sometimes words can be triggered and can be difficult to understand, because we approach words in different lights and different ways to see the world. But I think that the words always are a very good tool to connect with each other, more than to be in a separate ways. So try to use words in that way and just be kind to each other. So, and thanks so much for being kind to me. Thank you. Goodbye.